Hello, everyone. John Anderson Pierre, the Beer and Rambling and Gambling looks at back 40 beer companies. The Naked Pig Pale Ale, 6% ABV by volume, an American Pale Ale style. Back 40 Brewery is based here in my state of Alabama, Gadsden. Of course, we've slowly within the last couple of years we've had a couple of breweries here for a while now, but most of them have been really popping up on the scene since about the mid 2000s. Um, now the ever since 2009, before beers had to be a certain percentage, 6% or lower, that you could be sold in the state, and even some craft beers, which they were not selling on the stores, but you could still get them on draft if you go to their facilities. Um, you can get them, but we're not really selling. I mean, when you go to the place, get a sample and go get a draft, or get a drink, or some of the bars that would have it. But the alcohol level had to be under 6%. But now, ever since after 2009, all that has changed. So um, this beer gets an 80 score on Beer Advocate, very high score. 80 score meaning good. The Bros haven't scored it yet. Um, it's interesting. I've had a couple of pale ales before. Of course, the one I like is the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Um, New Belgium has a pale ale style that I like a lot too. So, um, the Two Hearted Pale Ale I've had from Bell's Brewery up in Michigan, that's also a good one too. So, let me get my glass. Stand by. And you're gonna come with me while I get my glass. I've got to get my glass, which I usually do when I do these reviews, but not this one. I'm doing this on the fly, folks. On the fly. Anyhow. All right. The camera moves. Doesn't stay one place. Anyhow. Some interesting games today. Hopefully some will be entertaining. See, my glass has been pretty frozen. This is going to be a little glassy, as you can see. My little glass mug. And I've had it in the freezer for about a while now. Probably maybe an hour or two I've had it in the freezer. So this is good. Um, yeah, the Two Hearted Pale I've had before. Um, that's really one of their best beers. Um, so look at the glass here. Nice typical pale ale style, as you can see. A little light yellow color here. But again, my glass is frozen. So, the state of Alabama, as I mentioned, I did a review for one of the other beers that are very also popular in the state from Fairhope Brewery, called the Amber. I did it the other night. I walked therefore I Amber. I believe that was the name of the beer. But anyhow, most of the one I tend to have is Take the Causeway IPA. I've had that one, but as you see, the state, as you can see, has slowly began to get a good following now. Obviously, still we have some laws we still have to kind of bypass here, but I think the state is slowly coming around in terms of getting giving the folks not just in this state but even those in our neighboring states and even hopefully outside the rest of the other states across the country, giving them good quality beer. Um, and then my biggest thing has always been is that let the people decide what they want. Get politics out of it. They always said just like we have this battle about the lottery here in the state. That we tend to that they will bring some sense of immorality and corruption and things like that, which is a bunch of nonsense. I don't think that is going to happen. So, but I mean, Mississippi's done very well. Tennessee, that's just as religious as this state. They got the lottery, and and they have, of course, all their riverboat gambling off the Mississippi around Memphis and places like that. Um, Georgia, of course, has the lottery. Florida, they got gambling. Um, and we wonder why we tend to miss out on a lot of stuff. And people from our state like to go to the neighboring states, and even as far as Texas, they went to this, so they want to have a good time and spend some money. And what do we have in Alabama? Well, we got a couple of gaming places, but all of them is being trying to be controlled by the having them to remove some of these gaming machines off because of, again, the whole point of immorality. Um, can't stand that. But anyhow, back to the beer. Nice color, nice little bite finish to it. Very decent. Very, very crisp. See a little more lacing in the beer here. I would, I'm trying to think. This beer reminds me of a little bit. I think I said Sierra Nevada. But also there's another beer reminds me of that has this kind of same unique taste, finish, and unique flavor to it. I'm trying to see. It was another pale ale. Um, um, may have been the New Belgium paddle. That's a lager, sorry. But this is really good. I mentioned Two Hearted Ale. That's also good. Kind of the same. But that Two Hearted had a little darker color. But you know, um, 45 degrees. I guess maybe I overdid it. Probably put it in the freezer, just like the when I did the SOS the other day, the German Pilsner I reviewed from Abita. Tends to see it tends to taste of aftertaste a little bit of a citrus lemon. These feel going down, but this is all right. And interesting enough, they show on the side of the beer here recommended food pairings with this. As you can see, there's one with some looks like a steak right there in the end. There's some pizza in the end. Looks like a turkey leg on the first. So there's some of the pairings you could pair a pale ale with. I say pair this with, like I said, a nice juicy steak would go with this. It goes stout or a porter or a juicy steak. But with this, you can put some pizza, you know, um, calzone. That will go good. Will pair well with this. All the flavors of tomatoes and mozzarella. That type of cheese, mozzarella cheese. Um, you know, pepperoni, sausage. That kind of all those tomato-based sauces will go well with that with this beer. The bruschetta, you know, with tomato and mozzarella, that will go well. So I like the finishing, and it's quite decent. I think this is a real good beer. I think I need to start getting this. Back 40, they're pretty much everywhere everywhere on any supermarket you'll go to in the Mobile. I mean, basically in the state of Alabama. If you're visiting, coming to Alabama, I doubt there are any place else outside the state. I know in my area here in Mobile, I could get this any store, Winn-Dixie, of course, all your Walmarts, public supermarkets, the Greer Shopping Center where I go, Greer's. So I get a lot of sometimes I get some of my craft beers, and I'll go there, and I'll see plenty of that on the shelves, and they do very well. And it's reasonably priced. I would say $8.99, between $8.99 to $10. You'll be paying for the beer, a sixer. They don't have it in 12 packs. So this is really good. I'm going to give this a number 9 for me. This is a good beer. Really enjoying this. And so if you're in Alabama, look this up. the Naked Pig Pale Ale by the Back 40 Beer Company. Several others come to mind. Straight to Ale is in Huntsville. You got Good People Brewery, which is in Birmingham. You have Avondale Brewery, was also in Avondale Brewery, which is also in Alabama. So there's a lot of there's some good craft breweries here that put on some good beers here in the state, and if you're lucky enough to try them, I mean, like I said, support local. I mean, when people say that, you hear that all the time, man, they really do mean that. Really support the local guys. Now, I think they're really putting on some good stuff. Now, you can say price point is an issue at times. Granted, but if you do want to pay for something really good and really decent, sometimes you have to pay a little more. And so um, there's nothing wrong doing that. So that's all I got. So they're your thoughts and comments. If you had the Naked Pig Pale Ale from Back 40 Beer Company, leave your comments on the bottom. Jonathan Pierre at the Beer and TV Rental Tunes, as always. Keep watching and cheers. And I'm going to get me some rest.